Hello, and thank you for attending this pre-recorded Tuesday Topics, more about Smartsheet. Today's presentation is focused on a tour of a Principal Investigator Research Administration dashboard. Some of you may have received an email from the grant support team in the College of Nursing and Health Professions alerting you to the fact that you have a Principal Investigator Administration dashboard. In this presentation, we're going to take a look at the different areas of this dashboard and some of the benefits to you as a faculty member and an investigator to help you manage your administration aspect of your research portfolio. Okay, so right now we are looking at an example of a Principal Investigator dashboard. You'll find your name up here. And in the top center of your dashboard, we have a share your feedback response mechanism. If you have any comments or questions about your dashboard, go ahead and click on the share your feedback notification, fill out the form, and we will get back to you. The top of your dashboard contains quick links. Some of these quick links you're already very familiar with, like Drexel 1, COEUS, Web Financials, Effort Reporting, SmartSource. But what you will also find is an instant quick link to the work ticket request form. Moving forward, we would like faculty members and professional staff who are asking the research administration support team to perform some work for them to submit a work ticket request form. I do want to mention that not all requests require a work ticket. If you just have a question or something relatively simple that can be wrapped up in 1 or 2 email responses, and does not involve other departments at Drexel University, you do not need to use the work ticket request form. You can simply do what you've always done, which is send an email to your grant manager. But the reason we've created this work ticket request form is to take some work out of email and put it into a system where it can be tracked, and most importantly, the benefit to you, provide you with status updates and notes about the status of a work request that you have submitted without you having to ask us, and statuses and notes that you can see from your phone or your computer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Below the work ticket request form is your intent to submit intake form. This is when you are ready to alert your grant manager that you want to apply for a funding opportunity. You're going to apply for a grant. In the past, what you were doing is you were filling out a PDF, and then you were emailing that PDF to the research support team in CNHP. Now we would like you to just go to this cloud-based form, which has all the same questions that the PDF used to have, hit submit, and we will instantly be notified of your intent to submit a grant application. Once we receive that notification, we're going to schedule a pre-award meeting with a principal investigator within 3 days. That doesn't mean the meeting is going to take place within 3 days. We're just going to get it scheduled and on the books within 3 days. Then we'll have the meeting to discuss how we're going to approach the grant application. Let's go a little further down on your Principal Investigator dashboard to your Assignments Due report. This report that you see here are the assignments your grant manager has assigned to you. These are tasks and responsibilities we are requesting from you, the principal investigator or the faculty member or the owner of the dashboard. What's great about this is not only do you have a report that can be a great reminder about work and responsibility and tasks that are out there waiting for you, but once you have completed that work or you have taken it as far as you can do a status update and add notes. As you change the status of a particular assignment or add notes, your grant manager becomes instantly aware of those changes, and those changes appear on their dashboard about these assignments. So this is actually a really great tool, not only to stay organized with all the things you need to do for your grant manager, but without using email, you can communicate to them that your assignment has been completed. So let's say you went in here and They were asking you to complete on your Assist application the human subjects questions section. If you've gone in and done that, what you would do is you would click on your assignments due report. Here you see you're now going to the underlying Smartsheet from which that report was generated. And here you're going to see that first assignment, go into Assist application and complete the human subjects questions. You've done that. It goes to assigned, from assigned to resolved. Hit save. Please remember to hit save anytime you've changed anything on a Smartsheet. Otherwise, it won't be saved. Let's go ahead and hit save there. Let's go back to your dashboard. Hit refresh. These three little dots next to your name have some different tools, but you can hit refresh. As you can see, that assignment due has actually disappeared from your dashboard. And the reason is, once you've resolved an assignment and it's taken care of, it's removed from your assignments due report. But your grant manager or the person who created that assignment for you is now aware that it's been resolved. There are different statuses that you can put a particular work ticket in. I do want to explain, most of them are self-explanatory, but I want to explain the concept of waiting on third party. Waiting on third party means the person to whom the ticket has been assigned has pretty much done everything they can up until that point, and they're waiting on another person or department at Drexel to complete something before we can move forward to the resolve stage. This is very common, and it's useful to know who a ticket is sitting with. So for instance, maybe you've asked someone to change a budget in web finance. You've asked your grant manager to change a budget, you create a ticket, you go on your dashboard to check on that ticket, and now says waiting on third party, research accounting services. So you know your grant manager has done everything they can, and they're waiting on research account services to actually make the change in the system. So you don't have to send them an email and ask what's happening with the budget. You know what's happening with the budget. Below your assignments due report is the work tickets you submitted status report. These are the tickets that you went in and created when you're asking your grant manager to execute some sort of task or responsibility on one of your active projects or anything else you may be asking. Maybe you want to hire a student, or you need to update your labor allocation, or you're trying to purchase something. When you go to your work ticket request form and you create that ticket and submit it, that ticket instantly appears under your work tickets you submitted status report. When it's assigned to a grant manager or another team member that's going to execute this ticket, you will see their name here, and you will see the status of the ticket. Status could be not started, in progress, waiting on a third party, resolved. Once that ticket has been resolved, it moves down below here to your resolved work tickets report. Continuing on down the dashboard here, the next two reports are about labor distribution, also known as your salary distribution or your effort report. The first report is the PI salary distribution. So you're going to see where your salary is distributed to which funds or which accounts by percentage, which will total 100%. And you'll see the date it was last updated. So what it's going to let you know is that on this particular date, a snapshot in time, your salary was distributed across the following funds at these percentages. So this is sometimes useful, handy information to know, mostly because if there's a mistake or you don't think the salary allocations are correct, you'll be able to check them really quickly and alert your grant manager to that issue. If you have other personnel, faculty, staff, students being expensed to any of your active grant projects, you will see that person's name appear in this report, the Personnel Salary Distribution Report. You'll see their name, their job title, and the percent effort or the percentage of their salary being expensed to your project. Both of these reports will be updated one time each month, and what you see represents a snapshot in time on the date that it was updated. Your personnel salary distribution report will always include anybody at Drexel University who is being charged to one of your active grant projects. But in addition to that, if you had another professional staff member or student that you wanted to see on the report, but they weren't charged to an active grant, maybe they're charged to your startup, or maybe they're charged to a designated fund or a gift fund, all you need to do is give us their name and they can be added to this report. The pre-award grant application status and history report, what is this? This is just a summary of all of the grant applications that you have recently submitted over a given period of time or are in progress. So maybe we'll have something like the last 6 months. What you'll see on this report is the last 6 months, any grant that you've already submitted or something you're working on currently, and you'll just get some basic information about the title, who worked on it, the status, whether or not it's completed in COEUS, the sponsor's name, things like that. These different characteristics could be changed. You don't have to necessarily see exactly what you see here. You can work with your grant manager, and we can make this entire dashboard customized to the information that you're interested in about a given topic. Let's say you're working on an active grant application. So you've got this funding opportunity and you're in the middle of it. If you and your grant manager wanted to have a checklist for that application appear on your dashboard, that is possible. It's right here. So these are your 2 currently active grant applications. These are the checklists. If you were to click on it, what you're going to view is an underlying Smartsheet that has been created just for this unique grant application. It's the checklist, but in Smartsheet. You're used to seeing this maybe in an Excel form, but the Smartsheet form is a little more dynamic and has some pretty useful tools. So while you see a typical list here as far as different tasks, maybe we're collecting bio sketches, got your project summary, got your specific aims, your financial conflict of interest reports. Basically, each line in this Excel style Smartsheet represents a task or a component that needs to be collected or completed. You can assign that line to somebody. You can have start dates and due dates, status updates. It's great. Just a lot of information about that particular task in one line, whether it's been completed in COEUS, whether it's been completed in the grant portal that you're using, like Assist or grants.gov. But some other features that Smartsheet offers that go way beyond having an Excel spreadsheet is that this checklist can be shared with everybody on your team that's working on a proposal, including outside collaborators, and it's updating in real time. So everybody is looking at the same checklist, which is being updated in real time by all of the participants. Also, when you're looking for documents like conflict of interest forms, budget forms, they can all be attached on an individual line. You can have a conversation about an individual line, and you can send update requests or status requests about an individual line. This is crucial. Let's say you're working with some outside collaborators and you're waiting on their bio sketch. So here's their bio sketch line. Line 14, that's a bio sketch of a particular person at another university. If they haven't sent you the bio sketch yet, you can actually send them an update request through Smartsheet, which will email them, let them know you're still waiting on the bio sketch, and provide them a button that they can just click on and attach their bio sketch to, which will then appear on the Smartsheet. So I don't want to go into all the details of, Smartsheet's underlying capabilities. That's just a couple of comments about Smartsheet has a lot more flexibility, a lot more, power to manage a particular task, can do it through email. It provides the opportunity to let outside collaborators respond through email and have your sheet updated. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard. All right, so now we're back on the Principal Investigator dashboard. We were just on the checklist for an active grant project you're working on. Below the checklist, what you see here is your active grants quick reference report. If you have some active grants, This quick reference report is just sort of something you could look at really quickly if you needed the fund number or you're interested in what your remaining balance is or the project end date. The characteristics you see here could be modified or changed for characteristics about your grant that you would prefer to see. Maybe you don't need to see your own name as primary investigator. Maybe you're not that interested in the inception to date budget. You only want to know the remaining balance. So we can modify this report to sort of return the characteristics of that grant that you are interested in. But I think it's good to know what the remaining balance is and the project end date, because that's going to immediately alert you to any issues or concerns if your balance were to go negative or the end date was approaching in a very short period of time. So this report is just it's a at-a-glance report about your active funds. But below that, each individual active fund actually has a much more detailed report. So in this case, what you're going to see, this is about an individual fund. You're going to see your fund number, your fund title, a graphic about the percentage of funds that you have used so far. These percentages and these budgets represent what has been actually awarded and released to Drexel University. So if you have a 5-year project, it's only going to show you the years that have been awarded to Drexel, the obligated funds, not necessarily the full 5 years, just the contracts that Drexel has executed and are active. You're going to get all the basic characteristic informations for an individual fund, like the Drexel Web Finance fund number, the title of your grant. Now here you get the start date and the end date, the sponsor. You're going to get your inception to date budget, inception to date actual expenses, any outstanding commitments which have not actually been paid out, but you are committed to pay, and finally your remaining balance for that particular project. Below your financials report is a details report, which is also a financials report, but it's a little bit different. I want to explain why this report is here. Sometimes knowing or seeing the remaining balance isn't necessarily that informative because you might not know the nature of the funds that are remaining. What I mean by that is, let's say I have a remaining balance of $990,000. What that number doesn't tell you is this salary budget that's remaining? Is that subaward budget that's remaining? Is that indirect cost expense that just hasn't been collected yet? You don't know. But down here, I think the 3 sort of budgets that principal investigators, faculty members are interested in is they want to know what's my salaries budget and how much salary money do I have left? What is my general expense budget? Basically everything else besides salaries. I call it other. How much do I have left? And if you did have subawards on a project, you might want to know how much money did we set aside for the subaward, or what have they been issued? How much have they spent, and what is left? A budget like indirect cost wouldn't appear here because that's not money you can spend. So it's not really something that's all that useful. Indirect budgets and indirect expense only accumulate once you've spent some money on the grant. The salaries budget includes salaries and fringe benefits, both of them together. Same with year-to-date actual and salaries balance. So this number here is actually a combination of your salaries and fringe benefit budget because they're both included with salary expense. And at the bottom is just another grant, different fund number with the same type of information. So that is a quick tour of the Principal Investigator dashboard. I just want to go back up to the top, talk a little bit more about the benefits to you, the faculty member using this dashboard. I think of this as sort of like one place you can go to launch or check in on administrative tasks related to your research portfolio. If you get in the habit of just starting here every time you're thinking about doing something administrative or you're wondering about what's happening with a work ticket, you can reach this dashboard from any computer with an internet access or your telephone. your cell phone. You can download Smartsheet's cell phone app, make this your link. As soon as you click on that app, you're going to be on this page. So that's sort of like a handy way to immediately just go one place about your research portfolio and either launch new work by submitting a work ticket or an intent to submit a grant application form, or check in on work that either you need to do or that you've asked somebody else to do. One place, and you can get the status of these items. Maybe you have somebody on your team who would like to purchase something through Smart Source, and you don't know the fund number to provide them, or whether or not that fund has a remaining balance that is general expenses. You could just tap on your phone, get here, go down to your active grants report right here, your active grants quick reference report. If all you needed was the fund number, you'd find it here. You would know whether or not there's a remaining balance and what the project end date is. But if you did need that extra information about, well, they want to buy something that's a general expense or they want to travel, is there any money left in that particular budget? Then you would go down here to your other expenses budget, see what the actual is, see what your remaining balance is. And you know the date it was updated, last date updated. You can tell them whether or not you have funds to spend on a particular purchase. So that is it for our tour of your Principal Investigator dashboard. I'm going to click on the work ticket request form now, just so you have an idea of what it looks like. Our work ticket request form is very simple. It just asks for your name, a description of the issue you would like to start working on, and if you need to upload or attach a file, there's a file attachment right here. It's also this, if you wanted to notify a third party when the ticket is resolved, you could just put yes and give us the person's name. And when that ticket is resolved, they will get an email that the ticket has been resolved. Once you hit submit here, that work ticket immediately populates our research administration team's work ticket Smartsheet, which is what you're looking at now. From this Smartsheet, we can assign that ticket, change the status, add some notes, and there are some other features here. As these changes are happening with your ticket, all of the dashboards linked to that ticket are being updated in real time. So it's a really great feature. It's the same idea with your intent to submit form. Once you go online and you complete this cloud-based form that you intend to apply for a funding opportunity, give us all this basic information so we can get started researching that funding opportunity and creating a checklist. As soon as you hit submit at the bottom, that form immediately populates our Smartsheet grid. It is instantly assigned to a grant manager. It appears on your dashboard and you know who it's assigned to, and we start working on that ticket. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to schedule that meeting with the principal investigator, the pre-award meeting, to review the funding opportunity announcement, create our checklist, look at our deadlines, and make sure everybody understands who's responsible for which components of that particular application. Okay, so now we're back at the Principal Investigator dashboard. One more thing I want to mention is that these dashboards can be modified so they're more friendly for what you would like to see. We could move around the different sections of the dashboard. If you don't like the quick links at the top, you want it at the bottom, that's fine. Just pretty much whatever you want. If you see it on the dashboard and you just want it moved or removed even, maybe you don't even want something on there at all. Maybe you're not too interested in the resolved work tickets report. If you don't want to see that, we take it away. If you don't have any personnel working for you, we can take that away. So we can certainly modify these dashboards or customize them to your requests, especially when it comes to the characteristics you're seeing about either a ticket or a grant. There are many other characteristics that are being captured when these things in the underlying Smartsheet. So we've just added these characteristics, these columns, um, kind of based on just what makes sense. But maybe you're not interested in the created date of a ticket or an assignment due. So we take that off and we can create more room on your dashboard. Maybe there's many more links that you use often you'd like to see appear here. We can absolutely add those links. So if you have any requests, any comments, just go to this share your feedback form, which will send us a notification, and we can respond to those comments and sort of modify or customize this dashboard a little bit more for what you would like to see. That includes the colors on the dashboard. If you don't like the blue or you'd like to see something else, we can definitely modify that. All right, and that pretty much concludes our tour of the CNHP Principal Investigator Dashboard. I thank you for joining us on this pre-recorded Tuesday Topics. And hopefully we will be interacting with you soon and receiving your work ticket requests and helping you manage your grant portfolio. Thank you.